I'm Joshua, host of Toon'd In and reviewer of cartoons new and old. This is He-Man, my review for this week. Fabulous cartoons were revealed to me the day I held aloft my remote control and said, "Buy an internet receiver!" I changed the channel! Based off of the Mattel toy line, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was produced by Filmation in 1983. Simply referred to as He-Man, it is one of the most popular children's shows of the 80s, and has kept a strong cult following. Both G.I. Joe and He-Man had storylines and character backgrounds established by the toy lines before their shows debuted. However, He-Man's animation studio helped create the backstory before the show was greenlit. After the show was turned down twice by ABC, He-Man became the first toy-based cartoon to initially be released through syndication. That's important for cartoon history, even if you don't know what that means. The show ran for 2 seasons and an impressive 130 episodes. Also like G.I. Joe, He-Man included life lessons or morals at the end of each episode.
Today, He-Man had to decide whether or not to chop down a tree. Now, the trees around you probably don't speak the way Skytree did. Or if they do, we haven't learned to hear them. Yet. But trees are living things. And when you respect a tree, you show that you care about all life. Life is a wonderful, precious gift. Learn to enjoy and respect it, and you'll be a happier, better person for it.
These PSAs usually had to do with the theme of the episode.
Shira and I want to talk to you about something that's very personal. Your body.
Remember, it's your body and no one should touch you in a way that you feel is wrong.
I'll get anybody who tries it.
It's not that easy, Orko. It's hard for a young person to admit that he or she has been touched in a bad way.
If you've been touched that way, don't be ashamed. Tell someone you trust, like your parents, your doctor, your teacher, or counselor, or your minister or rabbi.
He-Man featured some of the earliest work from writer Paul Dini, who went on to write award-winning scripts for Batman the Animated Series, and David Wise, who later became the head writer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and The Real Ghostbusters. The series music was composed by Shuki Levy and Haim Saban. Both Levy and Saban would work together to make the theme to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, among others. Speaking of series music,
I am Adam, Prince of Eternia and defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull!"
The executive producer of He-Man, Lou Scheimer, in his youth had to escape from Germany after punching Adolf Hitler in the face. That's the kind of man we're dealing with here. Someone who was documented to have actually punched Hitler in the face. The show starred Adam, prince of a fictional planet called Eternia. Eternia was full of myth and fantasy and magic, but also no stranger to technology in small amounts. To answer the threat of the fiendish Skeletor and his forces, Prince Adam and his cowardly tiger, Cringer, ventured to the mythical Castle Grayskull in hopes that one of its secrets could help defeat Skeletor. As it turns out, Adam met the sorceress, who guided Adam to the Sword of Power. The Sword of Power, upon utterance of the phrase, "By the power of Grayskull," turned Adam into He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. He-Man looks like Fabio if he ate Arnold Schwarzenegger. A massive shirtless bodybuilder wearing a Conan the Barbarian-like costume. He-Man soon became the champion of Eternia and defended the land alongside other heroes, such as Battle Cat. What happens to Cringer when Adam becomes He-Man? Man-at-Arms, an inventive warrior tinker who created much of Eternia's advanced weaponry. Teela, captain of the Eternian Royal Guard, and Man-at-Arms' adopted daughter. She is the biological daughter of the sorceress, but is unaware of this heritage. It is often hinted that there's a romantic attachment between her and He-Man, but it was never really explored much in the televised series. The bumbling wizard, Orko, was an incompetent source of comic relief and terrible puns. Manny Faces, a warrior who could switch between a human face, a robot face, and a monster face, gaining different powers depending on which face he wore. Fisto! I think I should stop listing as supporting heroes and address the elephant in the room. There are a lot of people who look at He-Man as a gay icon, and honestly, I don't know about that. Sure, he's a muscular, shirtless man with fabulous secrets that he must keep as he fights to put a skeleton back in its closet. But I can't say with any certainty that he was intentionally meant to appeal to the homosexual agenda. Even if he was, so what? So, we'll move on. Fisto. Yeesh. On the villain side of the cast, we have Skeletor, the evil half-brother of Eternia's King Randor, who was horribly disfigured to always have an exposed skull for a face. He seems to be some sort of spellcaster. He also has a high nasally voice. Cobra Commander, Skeletor. Was it just a thing in the 80s to have the main villains have annoying, higher-pitched voices? Evelyn, a dark sorceress who's second only in magical power to Skeletor himself. Beastman, who can telepathically summon and control animals to do his bidding. There were others, including the cyborg weapon master Trapjaw, but Skeletor had way too many villains to count, so I won't sit here and mention them all. He-Man was so successful at the time that a spin-off was inevitable. That would be She-Ra, the Princess of Power. But we're not covering that series today. I only mentioned Prince Adam's sister because of the infamous He-Man and She-Ra holiday special, which I'm going to have to talk about. Joy. Honestly, the Christmas special isn't nearly as bad as its reputation. It was an extended episode of He-Man and She-Ra respectively. Nothing seemed out of place, and in many ways, it was a lot more entertaining than other Christmas specials I've seen before. I think that pretty much covers everything I had to say about this franchise for now. So as usual, it's time to find out. What does the fox say? I see nothing wrong with He-Man that wouldn't be true of other cartoons of its time. It even pushed the envelope against strict censors and helped bring punching back to action cartoons. Who knows how much longer cartoons would have had to wait without He-Man's help. For a campy, pun-filled but serviceable action cartoon, I do encourage you to at least give it a try, and see if it's for you. Who knows, you might even like some of Adam's cheesy one-liners. Next week, Man Month rolls on with God's Gift to Women, Johnny Bravo. Until then, I'm Josh the Fox Mills, and I command you to stay tuned!